Brisket's week 2 video recap. So we're going to start out by charging our clicker. We've been doing this at the beginning of each training session. Just as a reminder, when we are charging our clicker, we're not actually asking Brisket for any behaviors. We just want to make sure that he has a really solid association between hearing that click and getting a piece of food. So we'll do this maybe 3 times before we get started here. The first thing we're going to review is following a food lure. So Brisket has gotten much better at this behavior. So when we're using a food lure, I want to hold it flat in my hand and I want my palm facing Brisket's snout. And then the idea is that his tongue, he is licking that piece of food the whole time we're moving. Good job, buddy. So I want him connected to that food the whole time. We've been pairing this with his name too to start to work on some name recognition. Brisket. 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 Good job, buddy. And then something new this week, we've been working on this while he's wearing this leash. So I'm going to use a piece of food. I'm going to drop that food on the ground so he's busy eating the food while I get the leash on. And then we're going to try this a couple times. Brisket. Good boy. Brisket. Good job, buddy. So you can see he kind of like sidesteps a little bit, but the first week or the first time I tried this, he would not move at all while wearing this leash while I was hanging on to it. So this is definitely some good progress that we're making here. Brisket. Good boy. Brisket. Good job, buddy. And then I've been practicing this with my other hand as well. And I keep this pretty brief. I don't do this for too long because I don't want him to like check out on me. So we'll do maybe 4 or 5 reps and then we end it. Brisket. Brisket. Good job, buddy. And then when I am ready to take that leash off, again, I'm going to get him interested in a piece of food so that he's more focused on the food and not the fact that I'm messing around with this leash here. Good boy. Good job, buddy. We've been continuing to work on our hand targets this week. So in week 1, we were starting by putting the food right up to Brisket's snout. This week, I'm going to try just presenting my hand a foot or 2 away from him with the food in it, and I'll see if he can target my hand that way. Brisket, touch. Good boy. Brisket, touch. Good boy. Brisket, touch. Nice work, buddy. Whoops. We'll do one more here. Brisket, touch. Good boy. And then I am going to try a couple without food. So I'm just going to present my flat hand with no food in it. If he comes over and targets my hand, I am still going to click and reward. Brisket, touch. Good boy. Brisket, touch. Good job, buddy. Nice work. Yeah, good boy. We've been continuing to work on our sits this week. So the goal for this week is that I want to start to fade out using a food lure to get Brisket into a sit position. So for this, I may do my first repetition or 2 with that food lure, but then I do want to try a couple without using food. So I may still make that same motion with my hand, but I'm getting rid of the food and eventually we can form that into like a hand signal. Go get it. So first rep I have food. Brisket, sit. Good boy. So rewarding him a few times for maintaining that duration. Using his release cue to let him out of position. Break. Brisket, sit. What a good man. Break. Okay, so now we're going to try without food. Brisket, sit. What a good boy. So still marking and rewarding the behavior, but just getting rid of that food lure, and then eventually we will form this into some sort of a hand signal. Good boy. We'll try that one last time here. Brisket, sit. Good man. Break. For our downs this week, it's going to be pretty similar to our sit. Maybe the first repetition or two, I'll use food to help him get into position, but then I want to fade out the food and I am just going to be pointing to the floor. Our end goal with this behavior is that I'm able to stay standing up nice and straight, and I can just cue Brisket to go into a down position while I'm still standing up instead of having to lean over each time. Okay, so we'll use food for this first one. Down. So clicking once four elbows hit the floor, or once his front elbows hit the floor. Giving him a few follow-up cookies for maintaining duration, because eventually this can be, this can be a down stay. Break. Okay, so now we're going to try one without a food lure. Still going to point to the floor. Brisket, down. Good boy. Break. Good job, buddy. We'll do one more. What are you doing, bud? Brisket, down. Good boy. Break. Nice work, bud. We've been continuing to work on Brisket's mat skill this week, so he's been doing really well with this. The goal this week is I want him to offer a sit or a down position on the mat before I reward him. So when I say, Brisket, place, that's going to encompass him finding his way over to a mat eventually and settling into a down. So instead of me having to say, place, sit, down, stay, I can just use place, and that means go on your mat, settle into a down, stay there until I release you. So this week, again, we're working on having him offer us a sit or a down position on the mat before we reward. I'm going to reward a few times in a row to start to build some duration, and I'm going to use that release cue to let him off of his mat. I might move it the first few repetitions, but then I'm going to leave the mat in the same spot. I want to see that he's going to make his way back to it, kind of before I even have a chance to really start to cue him to come back to it. So let me get this situated here. So he already knows the drill. I'm going to toss a reset. Go get it. Brisket, place. So first few repetitions, I'm actually going to help him get into that down position immediately. Rewarding for duration. Break. Brisket, place. So if he pops up, I'm just going to help him get back into position, but I'm not going to reward right away. I'm going to stand up, wait a second or two, and then I'll reward him. Break. Brisket, place. So now I'm going to wait and see if he'll, I was going to say I'll wait and see if he offers me that behavior, but he did it all on his own. Good boy. You're so smart. Break. Place. Good boy. Whoop. So if he pops up out of that down again, I'm going to help him. I already clicked, so I have to feed. And at this point in the game, sometimes you can move the mat, sometimes you can leave it in the same spot. So I'll move it maybe a few more times, but then I'm going to start leaving it in the same spot here. Break. Brisket, place. What a smart boy. Uh-oh. Break. We'll do one more. I'm going to leave the mat where it is. Brisket, place. Good boy. So every time I click and reach in my pouch, he tends to pop up. So I'm just going to help him get back into that down. I'm going to stand up nice and tall. I just want him staying in that position as I'm reaching into my tree pouch. So I'm just going to kind of help him there. break, good boy. And then I am still picking up the mat and putting it away while I'm not working on this with him, just for maybe the next couple weeks, and then he can start leaving it out all the time. Good boy. We've been continuing to play the flying cookie game with Brisket this week, but I've been doing this while he has his leash on, just to continue getting him used to that leash dragging behind him. So again, I'm going to get him on some food while I get him clipped up to his leash here. And then I'm going to toss a piece of food away. He's going to chase it and eat it. I'm going to call his name. I'm going to click as soon as he turns in response to his name and feed him nice and close to my body. Go get it. Brisket. Good boy. So this is a fun game you can play with him, not only to work on name recognition, but also, again, getting him used to that leash dragging next to him. Go get it. Brisket. Good boy. Go get it. Brisket. You know your name really well, buddy. Good boy. Go get it. Brisket. Good boy. Good job, buddy. And then again, when I'm going to take that leash off, I'll get him on a piece of food so that he's interested in that food and not worried about me taking that leash off. Nice work, buddy. Good boy. We've been continuing to work on crate games as well as weeks. So I'm going to grab his crate here. So this week with our crate games, our goal is that we want to be able to shut the door while Brisket is in the crate. And then we just want to reward him for remaining calm in the crate while that door is shut. And we're also working on having him wait at that threshold before we release him to come out. So he's already in his crate. So I'm just going to, I'll toss a reset cookie, but never mind, I don't need to. Brisket. Crate. You goof. Such a goof. So clicking and rewarding for all 4 paws in. I'll click and reward again after I shut the door. And then maybe I'll click and reward a few more times as long as he's continuing to offer me calm behavior in the crate. And then when I'm ready to let him out, I am using a wait cue. Wait. Break. Good job, buddy. So again, just getting him to wait at that threshold instead of pawing at the door or pushing at it with his nose while we're trying to open it. Look at you, you smart boy. Let's try it again. Go get it. Brisket. Crate. Wait. Break. Good boy. We'll do one more here. Brisket. Crate. You're being such a good boy. Wait. Break. Nice work, buddy. Good boy. We've been working on Leave It with Brisket this week as well. So I have worked up to being able to open up my hand after I cue him to leave it. What are you doing, bud? Here. Brisket, leave it. Good boy. So again, making sure that I'm rewarding him with something other than what I just told him to leave. I'm going to toss a reset cookie. Go get it. We'll do that again. Brisket, leave it. What a good boy. So I'm starting with my fist closed after I present that food to him, and then once he backs off, I'm opening up my hand slowly, and then as long as he remains backed off for a few seconds, then I'll mark and reward him. Go get it. So I'm going to switch hands. I do like to practice this with both hands as well. Brisket. Leave it. Nice work, buddy. What a good boy. I've been working with Brisket on cooperative toy play, so this is where we're using two identical toys and we're playing some fetch with him. The idea is that I want him to bring whatever we're using as the toy back to us, and then I'll present the second identical one, and I want him to drop the first one to get the second one. So eventually we can develop this into an out or a drop it cue. So before I even start to play, I'm going to cue him ready, and then I'm going to bring out the first toy. Go get it. The idea is I want him to get it and bring it back to me. Good job, buddy. So after he grabs it, I'm going to encourage him to bring it back to me. And then I might let him thrash it around a little bit, play with it. But now when I present the second one, as soon as he drops the one he's in possession of, I'm going to mark it with the yes and toss it. Get it. Good boy. Yes. Go get it. Oh my goodness. Good boy, Brisket. Come here. What a good man. What a good man. So same thing, when he's still in possession of that one, that's when I'm going to present the other one. Yes, go get it. Oh, you caught that one. Good boy. Good job, Brisket. Good boy. Good job, buddy. What a good man. Good boy. Yes. Whoops. Go get it. You're a wild child today. Good man. Bring it here. Yeah, good boy. Good job, Brisket. Yes, go get it. Good man. So you get the idea. You're just switching out one for the other. This is, again, teaching him cooperative toy play versus us just always taking a toy away from him and not offering him something else in return. So when I'm going to end the game, I will trade out for food at the end. So I'll show him the food and I'll say, enough, and then I'll take the toys away. Good job, buddy. We've been continuing to charge Brisket's recall word. So for this, we're using come. So when we're charging our recall word, he doesn't actually have to come back to us. He will, because I'm going to offer him food. But the idea is that I want him to learn that when he hears the word come, he's going to be rewarded heavily at our feet. So we'll do this maybe 4 or 5 times. This is something super easy you can do with him every day. But then when we get to the point where we're actually working on a formal recall, he's responding really well to his name. At that point, he'll know what come means. Come. 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 Good boy. Good job, buddy. So I am going to show you a recall right now using his recall word just to kind of go over the sequence so that when we are to the point where we're using this more regularly, you know how this is going to work. So I'm going to toss a reset cookie to get Brisket to move away from me. As soon as he's finished eating that cookie, I'm going to call his name. As soon as he turns in response to his name, that's when I'm going to say his recall word. When he's headed in my direction, that's when I'm going to click, and I'm going to reward nice and close to my body. If I say his name and he doesn't even respond to his name, I'm not even going to bother following through with that recall word. Go get it. Brisket, come. Good boy. Go get it. Brisket, come. We'll do one more here. Go get it. Brisket, come. Nice job, buddy. Good work. So typically when I start introducing that recall word, I do like to have my dog on a long line so that if they are not responding to their name, that is an option I have to kind of reel them in. Right now he's kind of iffy about wearing that leash, so that's why we did a few without. He's been responding really well to his name, but we just want to keep in mind that when we're to the point where we're actually using that formal recall word, we do want to make sure that he is coming back to us and following through each time just so it doesn't lose its value. Good job, buddy. Brisket, come. What a good boy. For our body handling this week, I wanted to show you guys working with Brisket's face. So body handling in general for him, I have kind of figured out that like less is more with him. So if I try to do too much with him in one day, he like checks out and is over it. I would rather keep it short and end it while he's like still interested in working versus doing it for too long and waiting until he's like, okay, I'm done. So we do a little bit every day, whether it is restraint holds, handling his paws, handling his face, whatever. I've kind of just like been rotating through them. But I will really only focus on one thing each day. So either restraint holds, handling paws, using grooming tools, or handling his face. So today we're going to try handling his face a little bit. So when I say handling his face, I just mean like handling his ears a little bit. Yes, good boy. So with this, getting him on that food first, and then just doing like a light massage on his ear, or kind of lifting it gently so I can get a good look inside of it. Yes, good boy. For his eyes, I'm just gently lifting an eyelid so I can get a good look at his eyes. Yes, good boy. Yes, nice work, buddy. So I'm getting him interested in licking that food first before I do any handling. For his mouth, I'm just going to lift up his lip on one side to get a look at his gums. Yes, good boy. Yes, nice work, buddy. And then I'm going to toss a reset cookie. So again, this is a really good way to kind of like check to see where he's at. Go get it. If I toss it and he doesn't come back to me, maybe I'll end it there. Right now he is coming back to me. He seems interested still, so we're going to handle his tail a little bit. Yes, good boy. So when I'm handling his tail, I am not pulling on his tail. I'm not putting heavy pressure on it. I'm just gently lifting it in preparation for when he'll have to have his temperature taken at the vet. So again, getting him on that food first. Might pick up a paw since he's in a sit position. Yes, good boy. I've also been continuing to handle his collar a little bit too. What do you think, buddy? So just slipping my hand under his collar and kind of shifting it around a little bit. Yes, good boy. I'm going to toss another reset. Go get it. And maybe we'll do one more with the tail depending on how he's feeling about this. Again, I don't want to push it too much with him. He's been doing really well, so I'd rather end, like I said, on a really good note here. So since he's offering me a sit, I'm just going to mess around with his collar again. Yes, good boy. Nice work, bud. I started to introduce Brisket to a couple of grooming tools this week, specifically nail clippers and a brush. So for me, he's probably not going to need too much brushing. He's a short-coated dog. So the clippers, I think, in my opinion, are a little bit more important. So for this, I'm just introducing this to him this week. So I'm going to get him on a piece of food first, and then I'm going to bring out the clippers and maybe just touch it to his paw. Yes, good boy. So again, on the food first, and then touching to his paw while he's licking that food. Yes, good boy. Yes, nice work, buddy. And then depending on how he's standing, so like he's kind of standing sideways to me, I might just take this and bring it down his spine. Yes, good boy. So this week it's all about just getting him used to seeing these and feeling these on his body. I'm not actually clipping any nails. Good boy. Yes, nice work, buddy. And then maybe we'll end with me touching one of his back nails with it. So again, with this, I find like short and sweet for him is usually a good rule of thumb. So we'll do a few reps and then we're going to end it. Yes, nice work, buddy. Good boy. That is it for Brisket's week 2 video recap. Make sure that you're looking at the email I send over. It will give you a written instruction and maybe some additional videos as well. It'll give you just more detail on everything that we've been working on him in week 2. Good job, buddy. Good boy.